Okay, in long run equilibrium, we have the point where the short run aggregate supply and the aggregate demand all meet up right along some point on the long run aggregate supply. So this economy is at full employment. All resources that are available are being used, and it's operating at full capacity basically. And this is the relative price level at this point. So we'll call this PL1. Okay, so this is how much stuff costs in general that you can expect over the long run. Okay, now when you have a recession, what you will generally see is recessions are typically driven, not always, but typically driven by a decrease in aggregate demand, a decrease in GDP, which means that something here is majorly going down. So if you think about a general recession, usually businesses stop spending and they're not investing in their business anymore. So they'll stop taking out loans for new business expansion. So you'll see investment decrease. And then as a result, maybe it's a chicken and egg scenario of cause and effect. Consumer spending tends to go down when people lose their jobs or they're not sure what's going to happen in the future, or they generally just don't have money, extra money lying around. So what we have here is a decrease, and then this is the one that we'll talk about in a second, which is what gets to Keynesian economics versus what I would call classical economics. So what you'll see here then, if these things decrease, generally in a recession or contraction, is a decrease in your aggregate demand. So we'll call this AD1. You now have had a decrease in demand, which is a decrease in GDP. What typically happens during that time is, if you see where we are now in the short run, we are now at a lower price level and a lower output than we would be if we were employing all our resources. So we'll call this Y1. All right. So generally in a recession or a contraction, you see prices go down and you see output of the economy go down, thus a contraction, which means you're going to see unemployment increase and inflation. I'll make that price level decrease. So usually during a recession, you have high unemployment and low inflation, possibly de-inflation. Or deflation, not de-inflation, deflation. Okay. With us so far? Okay. All right. So in a basic economics, classical Adam Smith free market economy, what you would do here is you would do nothing. You would wait for the market to fix itself. That would be considered the most efficient way, which is what classical economics is about. Not equity, not necessarily equality, but not even like what is the best for well-being, but what is most efficient. So what you would do here is the demand is not going to just change on its own. People aren't just going to wake up one day and be like, you know what, I feel better than I felt yesterday. Even though I still don't have a job and I don't have any money in the bank, I feel better about it and I'm just going to spend money that I don't have. Businesses, same thing. Like, our last quarterly profits sucked, but you know what? We feel like the next one's going to be better for no reason whatsoever. So we will start investing more. And the government might just decide that it's going to spend more money or less money. I don't know, something like that. Okay. So in a classical economy, what they would do is they would sit around and wait. And since the demand is not going to take care of itself, eventually, because people are unemployed, wages, or the amount of money that people get paid, will decrease because people that don't have jobs are willing to take jobs at lower wages. They won't make as much money anymore, but at least they have a job. The other thing that tends to happen is you start to see interest rates come down. So this is called R. Interest rates will come down. What that usually means is that people might start to spend money more. The other thing too is that, input prices tend to go down because when prices across the economy go down, everything tends to go down. So the stuff that goes into making your product might also go down. So over time, what you'll see is the short run aggregate supply will actually increase back to equilibrium. And now you're back to a fully functioning economy. This is SRAS 2. Or well, actually, no, we'll say 1 because we're using ones. Now, this is great because now not only do you not have higher prices, but you're back to full employment and you're at lower prices. But the problem is that nobody knows how long this could take. This could take months, years. It could take a few years. It could take a decade. In the dark ages, it took like 300 years for it to happen. Like nobody really knows. And while that's happening, you're going to have people that are unemployed, businesses shutting down. And if you're truly in a free market economy, you're probably not going to have any welfare programs or healthcare or anything like that for people that are struggling. So people are just kind of left to fend for themselves. So now that this is 5 minutes, I'll do the last one, which shows what could happen if the government decides to be anti-cyclical, which means they're going to act in a way that goes against the business cycle.